Hello, everyone. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain how. It's free. Isn't that awesome? There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. So it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more. You can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Is that amazing or what? It's everything you need to make your podcast in one place. So, here is a call to action for you. I would recommend you start your podcast today. Download the free Anchor app, or you can go to anchor.fm to get started. Talk with you soon. Greetings and salutations to you all, and thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of MiThyme Motivation. It's your host, Tasha Ryder. I hope everyone is very, very, very well today. And as always, I would like to send a thank you out to all the people out there that are making sacrifices during these intense times like no one could have imagined, or could we have? Maybe it was in a book. I don't know. Just saying. So let's move forward. With that being said, today's episode is about multiple streams of income. Let's get started. So, I believe that in all things, you should never just depend on one stream of anything, one stream of income, one stream of advice, one stream of conversation, one stream of education, and so on and so forth. So, multiple streams of income. This dropped into my spirit, honestly, many, many, many years ago. This was probably even before 911. So, the days of old in the United States of America, the good old USA, has always been that people would live the American dream. And so, in the American dream, it was your ability to educate yourself, your ability to start a career, start a job, work a job for many years, and then you retire. So essentially, the model of America was to be on a job 25 years and you retire, so you're out. Then it became you're young enough to retire and possibly start a second job, so you're in your 40s, maybe mid 40s, and you retire from one job, you start another job. And so for many families, that still holds true today. But as the economy began to fall, and in my opinion, it was falling 12 years before 911, and because people just weren't able to make money as quickly as possible. And so I experienced that. I was in a particular career in higher education. I was in real estate. I was doing mortgages. I was consulting. So I've done many things. I was a tax consultant. I did many things to make up income. And so over a period of years, I started noticing that as those things were not with consulting, I wasn't receiving as much income as I was accustomed to. Then I had to rely really on one job. And it was a career job, but it still was a one source of income. And so then 911 hit. And of course, I was impacted by the layoffs that many millions of Americans would unfortunately experience over a period of time. And then you're left with what do you do next? So if you're out there watching YouTube, you know people are doing things differently. But in my spirit, even though I've had the pleasure of having multiple streams of income, my thought was, I don't want to continue to run this rat race. What will I do that no one I know is doing, which was at that time to work remotely, to work virtually, and let that be multiple streams of income. But I'm sitting at home in my home office at a desk, and I'm able to generate multiple levels of income seamlessly with very little effort on my part because of something that I had built. So, this is my dream and a plan that I've had in place for many years that really I'm constantly reinventing and adding to this plan, which is a long term vision for me. And so it is still not exactly the way I would want it to be, but I still keep moving forward towards that. And it's simply because I truly believe that in this life, and it's shown me, it was revealed to me many years ago, that you must have multiple streams of income. And so we'll continue to talk more about what that does look like. But when one thing feels like your job, or you're laid off, or you're downsized, or you've been fired, and that was your only source of income, your next resolve is going to go to your bank account for income and resources. And of course, this is money that you've earned, you've put away for a greater day. But now this unfortunate day has happened. And so you're going to be extremely tempted to pull money out of those resources that are sitting to live off of, but you still have to keep moving forward. So, this is something that touches really close to millions of Americans, especially right now. But I think that the message for me today is really about helping people to be motivated to go after, to get up, to chase it, to grab it, and to get it, which is multiple streams of income. Because it is a great feeling knowing that when I was downsized the first time, that I did not have to stress about how I was going to live. So when I initially knew something was happening with the economy, I had 12 months of reserves saved in an account where I knew that if worst case scenario, that's why your mom always teaches you to put something away, or your grandmother or someone has taught you, hopefully, that during the course of your life, put something away for later. My dad was a big proponent of saying this to me as a young person as well. So I knew to put something away. And essentially, I had 12 months of reserves where I could reach out to receive this money and have this money saved up for a rainy day. So essentially, I did not have to work and be pressed to work for someone for 12 months. While I kept it in the back of my mind, I need to work on taking that opportunity of being downsized and laid off to do the things that I said I wanted to do, but also having to backpedal because now I wasn't consulting as much, and also trying to figure out what is available out here that I can do to keep money coming in. So then I still was working, and then I made a couple of decisions to pay down some debt. So I took away from my reserves, and when I looked up, I was laid off, and now I needed to reassess because now I had only 9 months that I knew I would be pretty much okay. Not in a horrible situation, but not as safe as I thought I would be. So the goal is to have a business, work your full time job, continue to grow your business, to take time with your business, and never position yourself to be with only one source of income, because as you now unfortunately know, that when you are an employee and you only have one source of income, if something happens to you and you're the head of your household, you're single, that's it. And if you don't have a backup plan with savings or a 401k or some money put aside for these rainy day reserves, which I think everyone should have a rainy day reserve, because literally that needs to be part of your vision. Putting money aside for that. So you can pay down debt is always great. Credit repairers will say pay down this or pay down that, but when you get into a pinch, where do you go? And so you always can't walk into the front door of a bank and say, hey, let's give me, 20, 40, $60,000 because now I'm laid off. They want to know, where's your earned income? And so I encourage everyone to be motivated. And if that is not part of your game plan for future years, then start writing it in your vision boards now, to never go down this path where you only have one source of income. If you are in a two income household, the same applies. If one person loses their job, but you need two incomes to survive and maintain your lifestyle, you definitely have to have multiple streams of income. And so I think oftentimes you find in marriages, people are divorced because of money, and people fall out with friends because of money. People fall out with family members, and it causes strife and dissension because of money. I implore you to become extremely motivated to change your mindset in regards to multiple streams of income with your family, not because you're looking necessarily to make a big purchase, but just because it's going to be required. So I know that was uh, a lot of time talking about multiple streams of income. And of course, this can get into a deeper conversation, but if you've been listening to my podcast, you already know I keep it short and sweet. Stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in to MiThyme Motivation. I love you with the love of Jesus, and there is nothing, nothing, nothing that you can do about it. And we will be talking soon. Like the video, like the episode, comment, subscribe as many times, share as many times, and we'll talk soon.